It was on Christmas morning that our family hopped in the car and headed out to see my wife's grandmother at a care home. Immediately after, we headed over to the Geographical Center of Europe, which is amazingly just a short 20 or 30 minute drive from the Vilnius city center. The closest proper town is called Pornuškės, but it's also located by villages named Giria and Radžiūnai, at least according to Google Maps. And from Google Maps, it also looks like this special landmark is within a golf course. How interesting. The road there can barely be called a highway due to its bumpy and poor state, but it's one of Vilnius's main roads heading out to the rest of the country, with Utena being on the other end. Anyways, we pulled into the empty parking area, which I imagine might be a little bit busier in the summertime, and we parked the car, with our son taking a nap and my wife staying to look after him while also having a little less interest in seeing this landmark. I headed out there myself. From the parking area, it's no more than a 5-minute walk. I actually went the long way around and missed this little shortcut, so if you're gonna make the trip yourself one day, make a mental note of it, although it's not really a big deal if you go the longer way. If you do end up going the long way around, the first thing you'll see are these wood buildings. According to this sign, at least one of the buildings is where you'll be able to get coffee and certificates, so I guess that's the visitor center. Although I do wonder how many visitors actually come here. Anyways, walking past the buildings, you get to an open area showing all the flags. I believe they're just flags of the EU and not all of continental Europe. This flag looks like Russia, but I think it's actually the flag of Slovenia. But I mean, if this area's claim to fame is the center of Europe and not the center of the EU, I think it would make more sense to include all the flags of Europe, whether they are in the European Union or not. But what do you think? Would you agree or disagree? Anyways, moving on, we get to this boulder which has been engraved to mark the geographical center of Europe. If your quest is to get to this point, then I suppose this will be the necessary photo for you. And then not too far away is this monument. Built in 2004, it celebrates Lithuania's accession to the EU. Created by sculptor Gediminas Jokūbonis, it's a white granite column topped by a gold-plated crown of stars. A website says the crown has 12 stars to symbolize the member states of the European Union. But that's a little confusing for me, because prior to Lithuania and 9 other countries joining in 2004, this EU website tells me that there were 15 member nations. I won't get into it too deeply for this vlog, but yeah, that was a little confusing. So that's really it for this geographical center of Europe. But since this point is so highly contested, it makes sense that it's not where everyone goes. It's not like Key West's southernmost point of the continental USA or Cape Agulhas in South Africa, the southernmost point of the African continent, because these are very clear and undisputed. Apparently there are also monuments in Poland, Slovakia, Belarus, Hungary, Estonia, and more, which are said to mark the geographical midpoint of Europe. So yeah, it's not so clear. But outside of the vlog, I can tell you that this geographical center point was declared in 1989. Apparently it was determined by French scientists and computed using a different methodology, which was said to be more specific and never used before. So that's it for my very short journey to the geographical center of Europe. At least in the far less touristy winter season, it's a very quiet area without much to see, although there are some hills where hill forts used to stand. According to the Go Vilnius Tourism Promotion Agency, you can get here by bus from the Molėtai highway stop near the Santariškės bus loop, and the bus you need to board is Vilnius Paberžė. Once you get on, you should ask the driver to stop at the geographical center of Europe. Go Vilnius also says that there's a shuttle bus, Vilnius to Radžiūnai, going from stop 32 at the Vilnius bus station. I'm not sure how up-to-date this information is, so you might need to verify it, but there you go. And then at the time I'm making this video, you can just order a Bolt car to drive you too. The current one-way cost is about 20 euros. To not be stranded out there, you might want to pay extra to have them stay and wait for you to take you home. Just a thought. So, have you been here too? Or is this video the first time that you're seeing Lithuania's claim to being the geographical center of Europe? Let me know what you think by leaving a comment. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.